you commentate arm wrestling? No one's doing it. They need a voice. You've basically commentated your whole life. I think I got myself out of way too much trouble at school just through negotiating with the principal. Like an 18 men's competition in Cranbourne, and I turned that into like 65-10. I was planning to run home back to Cranny from the Sydney Opera House. I had one guy during a final stand and just look at me and not watch the game.
What?
Put me in with the crowd. You want magic? Don't hide me away in a booth.
Yes, guys, welcome back to the Up the Guts podcast. Joining as always is your host, Trent Diolton, and we're joined by a special guest today, one that I've been thinking about getting on for a while because he knows he loves to chat. We both share the same interest in sport, in particular footy. It's Jake Ward. How are you, Jake?
Mate, happy to be here. This is great. You got a good little setup here, and anytime someone wants to reach out and talk about sports and footy and like that, I'm on.
Now, we'll get into a bit of like what you do a bit later. Obviously, you do a lot. You do arm wrestling, you footy.
I do too much. Ask my wife.
You're a man of many talents, some would say. But first, I want to get into when you were growing up. So first of all, name a couple of things you do. What's a day in a life look like for you?
Oh, day in a life. I'll try and sum it up, even especially today. I wake up very 4:30 in the morning, and it's quickly try and get a gym workout in. Mm-hmm. Then I have to reply to messages from the other side of the world about organising, like Trent's doing. You know, you try and get guests on your show, but all of mine live overseas. We'll get to that later. Today I had to do a voiceover.
Yep.
So I did a 15-minute voiceover for a YouTube channel, and then I got to edit that. Then it's planning, lock in dates and things like that. Come here, do this, and after this, I got to go back home. I'll do my own live show either today or tomorrow. Try and do a little bit of prep for that, but I'm a bit lazy sometimes. And then, try and sneak in some family time.
So we'll wind it back to where did you grow up, and where did love of sport come from? What was young Jake like?
Young Jake was, I don't know how to put young Jake. I think I'm exactly the same as young Jake. Young Jake grew up in Cranny. I'm a Cranny guy.
So I was going to ask that, have you always had this confidence and energy?
No. So I think I had it instilled in me. So yeah, I say yes and no. So as a young fella, around family, I was very shy. Okay. So like I'd go up to mum if we're at like my auntie's house. I'd go up to mum and I'd be like, "Hey mum, real quietly, mum, can I have a cordial?" Things like that. And she'd be like, "Ask your auntie." Well, I just go thirsty. Yep. Not happening. Nope. I'd rather starve. And then, but then if I was at school or out in a crowd, I didn't mind being up and about. And then I reckon it was very early high school days. I was like, I think I got myself out of way too much trouble at school just through negotiating with the principal. And I just remember one instance, and I just sat there and went, "Wow, you've got it now." Because I come from a long family of talkers. My mum, brilliant talker. My dad, bless him, was hilarious, great talker. Aunties and uncles, my two brothers, they can, that's where I learn a lot of it from. So yeah, grew up in Cranny. Went to Cranny High down the road from here.
Same. I went to Cranny Secondary as well.
Oh, there you go. Yeah. I graduated 2002, so a little bit older than you, Trent. What year did you graduate?
2018. just a little bit.
Yeah, so just in and out of Cranbourne all my life, and just always loved sport. Huge pro wrestling fan growing up. It was it was just great. And then it was basketball, it was footy, and then anything and everything else. I love just about every sport in the world.
Now, you mentioned pro wrestling. Funny enough, I'm a wrestling fan as well. Who were some of your favourites growing up?
Oh, the Hulkster.
Yeah.
The Hulkster was my idol. Shout out to my mum for lying to me every night. She'd say, if you want to grow up big and strong, eat your veggies like Hulk Hogan. Now, I didn't know about genetics and going to the gym and steroids. I'm like, if I eat these broccoli and cauliflower, which I hate, then I'm going to go, it was the Hulkster. growing up, and then in my teen years, I was lucky I had the Attitude Era. I had Steve Austin, Chris Jericho, and all that. And then this year, got to experience an amazing thing. I had a chat with Austin.
Yep.
And in fact, I had a chat with a number of Hall of Famers and got to work with Scott Steiner, Rick Steiner, and Ron Simmons.
Mm-hmm.
And Scott Steiner shaved my head bald
Yep.
at an event. Got to do a podcast, and then worked with Rick and Scott at WrestleCon this year. So met them all. Like Ric Flair, Austin, Luger, the Hardys, you name them. I was lucky enough to meet them.
Was there one that kind of surprised you how maybe welcoming or different they were to their personality on camera?
I was really sad when I saw Lex Luger. He was skin and bones, wheeled in on a wheelchair.
Yep.
And you're just like, oh my God, you know. You see some of them just old, broken and brittle. But Ron Simmons is the man. If you can, Ron Simmons and Rick Steiner, no disrespect to Scott Steiner, but he's just so busy.
Yeah.
And probably the more popular out of the three. But when we were sitting down for dinner, I made sure I parked myself next to them, being a wrestling fan. And then they were just awesome. Rick Steiner's hilarious. Ron just loves telling stories. And so I was like, yeah, this was grouse. And Billy Gunn was funny as.
Yeah, he seems like he'd be funny
great.
too. Still going these days too, Billy Gunn.
Oh, jeez. Yeah, it's not rocket science. Look after your body. Your body looks after you.
Now, you mentioned you had to negotiate yourself out of trouble sometimes. What type of student were you?
I was horrible.
Yeah.
I was yeah. Early days, I was a show off. It was the first time I experienced. So in primary school, I was a big fish in a small pond. By means, I was really smart. The first to finish all the work. I'd win all the tests and everything and maths.
Through competitiveness, you reckon?
Yeah, absolutely. A very competitive person. And then when I got to high school, I was put in with everyone else from the same people from different schools who were the best student in their schools. And I wasn't winning. So then I went, bugger this, and just buddy got my class clown type in there. And just obnoxious, stubborn, very, very stubborn. And then when it got to my later years, because unfortunately in year 10, we're getting up to the 25th anniversary now. My father passed away. And then I was just like, not hate everyone, but you just get an edge on your shoulder. I used to love being everyone's friend. And so I got to the stage where I wouldn't let my teachers have a day off. So if I was crook, I'd still go to school, because then I'd be like, he's not getting a day off from me. No way, I'm going to come raise hell and leave. So not ideal, and really hunted some teachers and caused, a lot of pain, which may have led, unfortunately, that I'm not proud of. So maybe one or two teachers pulling the pin.
Interesting. So were you playing sport as well, though?
Yeah. Tried footy in under nines, Granny Eagles. Tried that.
No good.
I was soft.
Yep.
Real soft. My dad let me know, bless him. I was soft. And I'd broken my elbow at a school camp. So I broke my elbow at a school camp, and then do
you remember?
Yeah, literally jumped. It was called the assault course, and literally jumped up, top of the wall to climb over. Wasn't anything silly. Landed on my feet, and I just remember going to the teacher going, my elbow hurts. And then out of nowhere, wailing. Turned out, broke my elbow, and it was in a cast for 6 months. So that was a fun 6 months when you're 9 turning 10. You've got a cast. But then what happened was, from there, I entered a school fate basketball shooting competition.
Yep.
And my old man was like, give basketball a go. So, you got 5 shots, got all 5 in, and then got 9 out of 10 and won the grand prize in a best of 5 shooting. And then thought, okay, basketball might be thing. So then I dedicated my life. I played it like I doubled it indoor footy, indoor soccer, loved going bowling, loved table tennis, loved hitting the table tennis. But basketball, up until I was about 21, I lived and breathed in a basketball centre. It was not as good as we have it these days, but like any waking moment, be shooting hoops out the front, I go to the park, I try and play pickup games. Lived and breed that even went overseas to run a basketball centre when I was 19, because I used to run the one in Cranbourne. Used to be one of the managers there before it expanded. And so, yeah, huge playing basketball. And then at about 21, came back from England, didn't last too long, and then started playing footy.
Yep.
Just was working with a mate, and he goes, "Why don't you give footy a go?" And I was going through a bit of a lull in my life, and I was like, well, let's just change everything. You always played basketball. That's made you miserable, but now your career's over. So give footy a go. And played footy for, I'm going to say 12, 13 years before I had my hip replaced.
Mm-hmm. And you mentioned, obviously, you went overseas. What was the passion for that to going overseas, and what did you find? Was there anything that you had it all planned out, and you went over and you're like, holy shit?
So I was 19. Not 20, I'm going to say 20. 19 or 20, doesn't really matter. And you think you know it all because you've literally, like I had like an 18 men's competition in Cranbourne on a Thursday night, and I turned that into like 65 teams.
Yep.
I had the nights I was working, it was buzzing, it was the place to be. So you just think you know everything at 19. You just think it doesn't stink. Everything you touch is gold. So then when you go overseas and you've got no help, any help, you're on a different time zone. So if you're stuck at 5 p.m., well, that's like 3 a.m. back home. You can't call someone to help you out. So then, and then it's your first time away from home. So that family support, shout out to me mum, she's my hero. That family support is not there. And then you've brought your younger girlfriend over. It's her first time away, and you're living together and that, and it just imploded. And then after about 6 months, we just came back home and said, I can't do this anymore. And then you're going to a country that doesn't even like basketball.
To England, you mentioned?
Yeah.
What did you find the difference between England and Australia straight off the bat?
Oh, it's freezing.
Yep.
Freezing. I love it. My dad came from Ireland, grew up in England, so I always wanted to go to England. And my brothers at the time were living in England, so it was perfect for me. But it was just so cold. You just want to go outside and do something, but it's snowing, and you're just like, you go to the pub or you go, and then, so then I was drinking. I didn't have a problem, but there was nothing else to do.
Yeah.
You just drink. So I was, just dabbling that too much. And, of course, that makes your work go rubbish, no good. So, that was the first difference. And trying to get any kid to participate in any other sport besides soccer. It's a tough ask. We're here in Australia, and especially now, it's even easier now. But in Australia, we'll play any sport. We'll give basketball a go. But it's like, I've got this new basketball stadium. We've got basketball, we've got netball, we've got badminton. And then they're just like, do you play football there? No. Then you've lost them all. Yeah. So that was probably one of the hardest things.
And then obviously you came back. Where did the passion for, well, not passion, you mentioned that, but when did broadcasting come into it?
Yeah, broadcasting was a real funny thing. Very, very late into what I do. So I've always loved sport. I've always loved talking about sport. That's all I ever basically want to talk about, especially from 10 to 30. Like, I didn't want to talk about anything. We catch up for a drink at the pub. Cool. I don't really care what you're doing for work, Trent. How about the footy on the weekend? You check the NBA results. Oh, my God, you see the Super Bowl, this, that, and the other. The Olympics are on. Yeah. Don't get me started on the Olympics. That ruins my life for 2 weeks. But then not really thinking to get into commentary because I'd already done a job where I was working where everyone else was playing, running the basketball stadium. So I didn't want to do that. And then my footy career finished, but I got into arm wrestling, and it was my brother, the middle one, Ryan. He was like, why don't you commentate arm wrestling? No one's doing it. They need a voice. You've basically commentated your whole life. And I was like, I don't have the equipment or anything like that. No word of a lie. 5 minutes later, he sends me a video of him doing a voiceover of an arm wrestling match. And he says, I did that while taking a shit. And I was like, Jedi, show me the way. Show me the way. And then from there, did some funny videos on Instagram, and then it just blew up. And I'm like, I can make commentary my life. And for the last 4 years, that's what I've been able to do.
Now, arm wrestling is a unique one.
Yeah.
It's definitely a unique one. Some people might not even sit there and go, is that a national sport type of thing? Like, can you take us a bit into the arm wrestling world? What's it like?
I mean, if you want to see a perfect example of how no one knows that arm wrestling's a sport, I was in Dubai and the Matildas were on the same flight as me. And I was having a chat with them. And they were coming back to Melbourne, as were I, for an Olympic qualifier. And I just come from the number one promotion in the world. They had a match on ESPN. It's where the top athletes go. And I came back and there's cameras and that everywhere. And I just waltzed on. Like, no one had no idea that one of the best commentators in the world has just walked past them. So arm wrestling for me has always been in my blood ever since I was about 8 years old. Because I watched a movie with Sylvester Stallone called Over the Top.
Yep.
That was Rocky. That was Rambo. In a movie about arm wrestling, it had the word wrestling in it, being a wrestling fan. And I remember at the video shop, my dad telling me, you know, that's not Hulk Hogan wrestling. And I'm like, it's Sylvester Stallone. It says wrestling on the back. And it just became a cult hero movie in our household. Brother and I watch it all the time. And then, once my footy and basketball career finished, it was something I always wanted to give a try. And lucky enough, the only club at the time in Victoria was in Dandenong. Mm-hmm. Went and had my first training session, and I was rubbish. But then, but wanted to have a go at it. Very supportive wife. And then from there, the lockdowns happened. So I was an adult. So then about 5 years ago, so then I started just messaging all the top athletes in the world on social media. Hey, want to come on the show for an hour? And in the end, they all came on. And, I've been a full-time commentator now for three and a half years.
And where are some of the places you've got to travel to?
I just got rebooked in Norway and Vegas.
Jesus.
Last night, literally before I came, was on the phone. So England, the countries I've been to, England, Ireland, Norway, Canada, America, Dubai, or the UAE. I think I've ran through those 6 countries. Like Dubai, I've been 8 or 9 times. The States, I go 3 or 4 times a year. I'm trying to think. I reckon, that's, I think, all of them. Just had back-to-back trips in the Gold Coast in October. So, I literally had one trip that took me around the world. I had to fly to Dubai, and then from Dubai, I had to go all the way around to Canada, and then Canada back to Australia.
Do you have a favourite one that you go to?
Physically, I love going to Dubai because it's the shortest trip.
Yep.
It's 13 hours straight there, and it's like 45 degrees Celsius.
Yep.
So, man riddled with arthritis, perfect.
Mm-hmm.
So I do enjoy there. I've got so many good mates in the United States, and he's been able to. He got me box seats at WrestleMania with Scott Steiner. He got me third row at the third base at Yankee Stadium.
Mm-hmm.
Places that I'd never ever thought I'd go to, except for WrestleMania. I had my honeymoon at WrestleMania. I love my wife. Yeah, so they're probably my favourite. Norway was an experience. It's exactly like the movie. It was just picturesque, and I've done it. And so, going to Ireland, my dad was from Ireland, so that was a special place in my heart. Going back to England was fun because I used to live there. So every country has its unique thing why I'm excited to go there.
Yeah, and then obviously with the arm wrestling and United States of America, obviously going over there, what differences do you notice in the countries when you're? Is there much of a difference when you're traveling there? Purely arm wrestling,
Yeah. Oh, yeah, absolutely. So in America, you can make any sport popular. You've got 330 million people. You're bound to find a bunch of people that do it, and then across 50 states. So America are all for any chance to get themselves famous. So in arm wrestling, you can relatively get to monetization quicker than other sports because, as you said, it's unique. It's not there. So Americans have jumped on that.
That's why the slaps has started to come up in the past 18 months, maybe.
Oh, don't even get me started on that. But yeah, so you've got that. We don't really test our events because we've got no money. So you can juice up as much as you want, get on all the gear. But then you go to the countries like Norway, and that's in their schools. So arm wrestling's in their schools. Like we have footy clinics and basketball clinics. You can study to be an arm wrestling coach at university in Norway. Yeah. And they've got one of the rare countries with a very strict drug violation policy. So like we could be doing this right now and someone could knock on the door. Say, Trent, in the cup, mate, we've got to test you.
Yep.
So at any given moment, they can hit you up like they do with the AFL players here. So they're probably some of the bigger differences between the countries.
What's the box seat like at a Yankees game?
Yeah, unbelievable. I was sitting there, third row from third base, talking to the players when they came out on the field because I am just one to try anything. The players are on the field and you can see everyone doing it. And I was like, going to my mate, I said, what's his name? Yeah, no worries. And of course you just play on the Australian accent a bit. And I was like, oi, mate, oi, g'day, mate. Come all the way from Australia to watch you. And then coming over and I'm just conversing with some Major League Baseball stars. And then you're walking away and you're seeing former NFL players, Alec Baldwin was at the game, walk past him. So, yeah, it was really good. It was really good.
Yeah, and then obviously arm wrestling is a big one, but another big one is footy.
Footy.
Is that your main one, you reckon, like passion-wise?
Passion-wise now, yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah, the goal is to be an AFL commentator.
Yep.
And I came very close this year by commentating the Legends game, part of the Legends game.
How was that experience, by the way? You got to do it with SEN, was it?
SEN, yep. Had Stephen Quartermain and Pickers in the box with me. And it was great. It was great. It was just the behind-the-scenes stuff was different and a touch disappointing. But then I took all of that as a huge compliment. And I've got nothing bad to say about SEN because they ran the competition. I won the competition and I, got to experience something that not many people in the world get to do. And then Luke Hodge almost kicks a goal. He's one of my favourite players. I'm a Hawks man. So that was good. But then, yes, I absolutely loved it. Don't get me wrong. 31,000 people there. And then, so now, because in arm wrestling, I still love arm wrestling. And the fact, I piss myself laughing every time I jump on a plane. Like, I'm just a bloke from Cranny. Went to Cranny High, you're told you never amount to anything. They try and kick you out before the year 12 exams because you weren't the best student, or you would just do your assignment last minute and still get a B+ or something. And so I would just laugh that this bloke from Cranny's getting flown all around the world to do this. And so, yeah, so like I've achieved everything I possibly could in arm wrestling. I've been a mainstayer at the top arm wrestling competition in the world. I've gone multiple countries. So when I started doing footy commentary, when I was having a chat with GameFace, I was like, one, it's more fun to commentate because something is happening all the time in footy.
Yep.
And two, the following that I've been able to get from it has just been extraordinary. And then suddenly you're commentating former premiership players or former AFL players and you're like, okay, so where we are now is actually not too far. It's almost like I felt like I started a 100-metre race at the 30-metre line with the leagues that we do. So, but yeah, footy's my number one thing. I have knocked back overseas trips because I didn't want to miss a week of footy. And
that is AFL or local footy?
Local footy. Yeah. So like I would have there's some non-negotiables with trips I go to. One, because they're just massive paydays, and it's hard to knock that back when you got kids. And but yeah, so like people have rang, oh, we need you to come June or July. Can't do it because want to commentate the footy. So I really stepped back this year. I only had 4 or 5 international trips opposed to 10, 11 last year in 2024. So yeah, I'm all in on footy, all in, and yeah, I reckon I can get there.
Mentioned you're a Hawthorn man.
Huge Hawks. Been
probably privileged with a fair few number of premierships.
Yeah, I can't complain. Whenever the Hawthorn are rubbish, or miss out on the finals. Last year we missed out on the granny. This year we missed out on the granny. I can't complain. I was there for a three-peat. Only 2 teams have really done it in the modern era. We snagged one in 2008. I was there for 2014, which was a unique story in itself after the game. But
would you like to touch on it? Or?
Yeah, absolutely. So then my body's cooked. Hip replacement, I need a lot of buddies because I've run across Australia a couple of times.
Yep.
And in 2014, I was planning to run home back to Cranny from the Sydney Opera House.
Okay, yep.
And
decent trip.
Yeah, I was relatively fit. It was 1,000 Ks over 16 days. And I was really fit. And, I'd still go out drink because I could always say, it's the Monday after grand final day. Monday after grand final day. I was even at Craig Casino in the prelim final that Hawthorn were in, and I'm on the drink, and everyone's like, you go run home from Sydney soon, eh? It's Monday after grand final day. So then I'm there, and the Hawks belt Sydney, and then they're doing the lap of honour, and everyone's kind of like cheering and hanging around, and I just go into this dull silence. Because the realisation now, I've got to get on a plane tomorrow. I've got to start running the next day. And I was drunk the night before. I'd been drinking all day because the Hawks were in the grand final, going for back-to-back. And then, so everyone's all celebrating on there, and the Hawks jump like, here we go. And then, full up, started Sydney Opera House, and, ran home, and boy, what a journey that was.
Any challenges going through that?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
What roadblocks did you hit, do you reckon, going through on the way back on the run?
So the main thing was probably back then, I was physically fit. So at the time I was playing at the Dandenong Red Leagues, and I'd literally run from Cranbourne to Dandenong and train, and then someone would drive me home. So, a 20K run before training. Bit silly, or I would run the CrossFit, do a CrossFit session, and then I'd run over to the gym, do a gym session, and then run home. Like, I was the fittest I'd ever been. And I'd previously done a 110K run for charity, and these were also for charity. So then what had happened was I'd built my body up like a machine. And I turned onto the Hume Highway, and there was a sign like 735 kilometres to Melbourne. And my body broke down. So I never trained mentally. My knees went, calves were shot, pulled a hammy, my ankles were swelling over my shoes, and I was just like, holy crap, I got to drag myself for like another 770 Ks or something like that. So yeah,
by yourself?
I had a friend drive next to me and help book motels and everything. So yeah, and then legged it. Somehow got home, and then a couple of years later ran home from the Gold Coast.
How long did the recovery take?
Still recovering. I'm still sore from it all. Tried to play footy after both of them, and then I really should have, especially the Gold Coast one, because I was getting a little bit older. I really should have taken a year off footy, but I thought we were in a chance to win a flag. Never won a flag, even never won a final, and we finished on top of the ladder.
Don't say straight sets. Don't say straight.
And didn't Adelaide. We went out straight sets. So I'm 0-6 in footy finals.
Oh no,
the body was cooked after that, and yeah, I knew once we lost that final that was it. I'm done. I think I was like 33, 34 at the time.
Local footy commentary. When did that start? Obviously with GameFace, but when did it first get going?
Yeah, like only 2 years ago now. Like,
because you were running your local footy commentator page before that, were you?
No. So what had happened was someone had sent me something, and so I rang, and I'm like, is this legit? I rang Carts, Glenn Carter. Yeah, it's legit. And I said, look, I'm an arm wrestling commentator, but I'm home most Saturdays. So we had a chat, and he's like, yeah, absolutely, come on board, and then went from there. So then the local footy commentator, it was actually called something else because I wanted to run my own footy show.
Yep.
For the league that I was doing. I thought, I'm a old school footy show, the bounce type host.
Yep.
You talk some footy, you have a bit of fun. So I did about 5 or 6, Dirty Mongrel Punt, I think we called it. And I did about 5 or 6 shows.
How's that rain, by the way, just before I get in? Jeez.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. We're just trying to get in the summer. and then the league pulled the pin on it. They said, don't do it. And I'd only just started. So I didn't want to get Carts in trouble. And we had a chat. And he goes, what do you think we should do? And he goes, don't worry about it. So then I thought, all right, well, I've started this page. I'm going to take the same avenue that I did with arm wrestling by just voice-overing funny videos and implement it to footy. And then in the off-season, cricket and some other sports. And yeah, and now I've been able to build that page and it's able to get me some interesting conversations with some high-up people.
And you started, obviously, with the local footy commentary. Is there some key moments that stand out? And what is it that you love about doing it week on week?
Oh, what I love about it, my favourite thing, and if any of the teams are watching this, which you should, because it's a good podcast, put me in with the crowd. You want magic? Don't hide me away in a booth. Don't hide me away. My interactions with the crowd.
While you're calling?
While I'm calling.
Okay, yep.
So, a few times, because as a commentator, Trent, as you know, you praise the team that's doing really well and you point out where the team losing's going wrong. Now, when your team's losing, your commentary sounds biased, right? And a number of times, I love it. I did it as a player and I do it as a commentator. I love going the early crow. So if you've launched one 55 metres out, I will sail that thing home until it's not.
Yep.
And then I'll laugh and say, oh, it's hit the post and things like that. And I remember being at a game and not realising how loud I was, and I was up on a bloody amphitheatre type spot, and one team was up by...
Do you know what team were playing?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yep.
It was Pearsdale versus Chelsea.
Yep.
It was a windy day, and all the goals were at one end. So Pearsdale were up by about 6 or 7 goals at three-quarter time, and Chelsea were coming back. So then, of course, you hype that up. That's where you focus on, the big hype. And
the underdog story, come back.
Yeah, and so Francis was looking to knock one out, 50 metres out, and I've gone, oh, my God, they brought it back to 2 points. Oh, it's hit the post. Oh, I was so close. And not realising 40, 45 plus Pearsdale supporters turn around and they start calling me a seagull because Chelsea are the seagull. They're like, you're a seagull. You're bloody cheering them on and things like that. And I just, I had a laugh and things like that. I've had one guy during a final stand and just look at me and not watch the game.
What?
Yeah, because they were down by 5 goals at half time. And as you do, this is where I think, they need to be playing better. I need a lift from my leaders and things like that. And he just stood. And I ignored him the whole time, and I was getting a bit of praise for that. But
Was that hard?
Nah. With the arm wrestling commentary, I cop it much worse, much worse. Like, keyboard warriors is a real thing. And when people wish you get cancer like your wife did, what people say to me at the footies, no, people get angry if I mispronounce a name. It's like, I don't know who these people are.
Oh, that's one of the worst, mispronouncing of a name, and then it's like,
Yeah,
I'm only reading what.
Cool. Then tell me what is it?
Yeah.
What is it? And
if you come and correct me, not like respectfully, like obviously I commentate as well. Like, be like, oh, by the way, this is how you say his name. I'm saying I'll take that on.
Yeah.
But don't then just correct me like it's. I'm just like.
Yeah, and I have a laugh with it as well. So I'll turn any negative into a positive, and that really annoys people as well. So, but yeah, some key moments. The very first game was Red Hill Dramana, and
so Div 1,
yeah, Div 1. I think it was like the Easter, their Easter clash or whatever it was. And the other commentator after the first quarter just went, "Oh wow, oh okay," and I'm like, "Oh, so I'm doing good." And then the two that were in the timekeeper's box, and the two people turned around and went, "Oh, where have you come from?" And I was like, "Oh, okay, so I'm doing something right here." And then it's a lot of people aren't in a hurry to say good. When you do something wrong, they pounce on you. They absolutely pounce on you. And it was when my messages were getting flooded. Hey, listen to your game. Or even after the game, everyone come up like, "Oh my God, what an amazing call. That's amazing. How long have you been doing footy for?" "Oh, 10 games. What? 10 games. So I knew I was doing something right, and it's pretty good having a boss like Cart who I deal with because we both don't have enough time. I want to know if I'm garbage. I need you to tell me if I'm garbage because if you don't tell me, I'll continue being garbage. So, yeah, there was one time where the league weren't too happy where I absolutely pasted a bloke and I was like, "Yeah, you ain't going to make AFL doing that. Cool. You can have your little viral moment, which is irrelevant. I got lost in the moment, and that was probably only my one rare mistake. Yeah, I still owe that player a beer.
Now, obviously, you have a big personality, and what I've found, obviously, growing over the years as a commentator as well, I think people respect someone with a bit of flavour, with a bit of personality. Yeah. What has that always been you?
Yeah, absolutely. I would always look at things. So I didn't really do it with footy because I'm old enough now. I'm 40, about to turn 41. I backed myself in. I got a supportive wife, so like anything that I approach, I know I'll get to the top level. Like if I told my wife tomorrow I want to be a magician, she'll be like, "Amazing! I can't wait to see your first tricks or your first performance and things like that." So yeah, absolutely. Early days of commentating, I would look at podcasts and shows and even commentary and I'd be like, right, what are they doing? I'm going to do the opposite. Because, in a world that we're in where it's very limited positions, be the reason why they can't knock you back.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't have the accolades of playing AFL footy or things like that, but I've had some conversations and one with a particular radio station, and if they weren't in a downgrade, I'll tell you the radio station off air, but because they're actually making some people redundant. And so they reached out to me and they were like, "We just can't deny what you're bringing. But unfortunately, we can't hire anyone and we have to wait till the new AFL agreement. But if we get more games, locked in."
Yep.
So worst case, I have to wait 7 years before I commentate AFL.
Connection with players, I found it takes a while sometimes to connect with. Not a while, but you've got to pick the right person, I think.
Well, that all depends on different types of personality.
More, you know straight away when you go and. So you go to a club, you start mingling around, you know that person's going to give me the most. That person's going to give you that. Yeah. And then you can focus on them a bit, and then what that does, then you use them to bring the others along as well. And then once they see them doing that, you see them hanging shit on them, and then more people want to get involved. Yeah.
I have little tricks and everything to get him in there. But yeah, once the players started realising that I'm not out there to make them stupid and I will always look after them, as in there'll be no awkward silences. I won't ask them questions that they won't know. If they don't like something, I'll make sure it doesn't get published or things like that. But yeah, for the league that I'm in, they just know I'm coming in and I'm getting what I want. So there's two things you can do. You can hide and put up a fight, and eventually you get to come out, or you come in, you see what I'm doing. I mean, there was one stage, like 150 people in the room. They were all chanting everything, and they're pouring beer on me. And so, yeah, but building the relationships is the most important thing. One, if you be consistent, and two, you're not out there to make them look stupid. And if the players are smart, they get on board with the commentators because no one wants to sound silly. Like if you're very good friends with someone and they make a mistake,
yep,
you're not really going to bury them, are you? You'd be like, oh, geez, he hasn't got his kicking boots on today. So if they become friends with you, then they get looked after in their bad moments, and then their heightened moments go up. But I love building a following, and then the crew that I've got in my league just can't get enough of it. Like I'll get messages, can I be mic'd up at 3/4 time? Oh, can you pick me for the interview and things like that? Come see me when we win after the game. Oh, I've got some rippers for you. And I'm like, so it makes my life easier.
Because I said, the type of people that then you use into event. I've already had a message. Someone messaged out of East Media Manager, a new recruit says he wants an interview with Trent and he'll deny any other media commitments
awesome.
unless it's with Trent.
Yes, that's awesome. And it's little things like that that just validate you and just make you feel you're on the right path, and you're at least doing something right. Because you can't please everyone, but when you get little messages like that, you're just like, oh, okay, I'm doing something right. But then if there are teams out there, which they are, and they know who they are, give me nothing, I double down.
Yeah,
I come hard. I've chased people into rooms for post-game interviews. Like, I'll be in the rooms and they all disperse like I'm parting the sea, but then I'll chase them. I'll say, right, I'm getting this interview.
The best one, I think, is when you get someone, but then they throw someone under the bus who they know is going to shit themselves. And then because they throw them under the bus to grab them, everyone's on board knowing you're going to grab them. So they're going to look like an idiot if they don't do it now. So now they have to do it.
Yeah, and I always reward people. So, like, if they don't want to do the interview, I'm like, help me out now, but you pick someone and I'll go for them next. It's like if they... And
give me something on them and I'll go.
And that's right. And you can throw them under the bus. Like, I'll look after you. And then, and then they get it. And...
It's that first, I think, it's the first interaction, if you can make that comfortable.
Yeah. And I'll sometimes hit up players during the week on their social medias. Hey, mate, commentating your game on the weekend. Can you help me out grabbing a couple of players? The most easiest one, if you're doing like pre-game interviews and things like that, is you go straight to the captain. Yeah. I always go, hey, Trent, mate, can I borrow your leadership for a minute? I need 3 blokes for 2.5 minutes just to do a couple of quick questions over there. Then straight away,
they'll know the ones they want to.
You hype them up a bit, and then they're like, right, bang, bang, bang. And then you have a laugh and you praise them, and then it's all easy.
You called the Division 2 Mornington Peninsula Grand Final between, obviously, me being home to living in Devon Meadows and Bombers. Was that a shock result?
No, I tipped Devon Meadows.
Yep.
Yeah, I spent so much time in the... It was a shock. It was a shock, but not surprising, if that makes sense.
That qualifying final they played? There was something... I know Bombers didn't have Pryor as a ruckman, but there was something there I was like, Devon Meadows can get them on their day.
Yeah.
Especially it was just that second half the Bombers ran over them.
Yeah, and for me, and and they played the second half with 2 on the bench, Devon Meadows. But when you spend so much time every week in a league, you just know things. And when I was there when Crib Point beat Frankston for their first loss of the season, and then I was like, something's not right here. I think they've been found out. And then Somerville rolled them by 5 goals or something in the last round of the season. So this was like the last 3 or 4 weeks of the season. And then a couple of injuries to some good players. And, a couple of people have a bad game. But they were 30 seconds away, the Bombers, from winning the flag. If Khan Haratuku kicks that goal, Frankston Bombers go to Division 1. So, no, it was brilliant. I loved it. About 5,500 people there, or just under 5,500 people there. I had 2 wicked people on the call with me, and I was just having the time of my life.
Did you have a favourite player, or did you have a player that you were going straight to after the win to grab?
Well, Devon Meadows, I went to primary school with the president. He's a couple of years younger than me. Wasn't straight to, but there's a few players in the league I call footy crushes on that I just love enjoying watching them play footy. And the obvious one's Joel Hillis.
We'll touch on him soon, yeah.
I think he's the best player in the league. So he doesn't like doing the interviews, but he knows I'll look after him. So you can't be best on ground, team of the year captain, league best and fairest back-to-back, win a flag and not have an interview with me. But no, I knew the ones that I was going to. But I was basically asking anyone and everyone. And if you said no, that's fine. Go enjoy your win. I'm not going to pester people when they've just won a flag. So I go in, and because I've built the relationship with Devon Meadows, they were great. The one you've got to go straight to, I had to go straight to Dean Kent.
Yep.
Coach. You got to go straight to him. So, and get the coach's feel on that one. But Devon Meadows all year, they've looked after me. They invited me to their end of year celebrations. I didn't have to pay for anything, so not one to knock back a free beer. So shout out to everyone at Devon Meadows, and I do have some personal connections there as well.
Now, I know him pretty well too. Obviously, I went to school with him, played footy with him too. I know what Joel's like on the mic. He's like, he said that he doesn't really like talking in public. I've asked him to come on here before. He hasn't said no, but what he says, surely you can find someone a bit better, or I can find you someone that can give you a bit more value. You know what I'm like. But back-to-back league, best on, the captain of it, premiership player. How good is he, and what makes him so good?
I don't know what makes him so good. I really don't, because I think I even called it in the grand final. There was one point on the wing, and it was close to us, and he had no right to mark this footy. No right. Like, it should have been against the law. And it wasn't like a huge hanger or something like that. But he came from like 3 men deep and marked it behind his head, and took just a strong grab. He's not fast, like he's like
powerful.
He's not slow, but he's just finds the footy. And then all of a sudden,
we used to always say he's got massive glutes and hips, so you don't see him go to ground.
No, so and he can just he kind of almost slows the game down when he gets the footy. Most people would just panic and throw it on the boot, but he just somehow he just calculates. I've got it. Yep, there's Ryan Koo on the wing. Have a kick, buddy. That's on me, or he just turns and someone's about to give him a coat hanger or something like that, and you just go, you just got to hold on to that in a moment. Beautiful. There's, Dean Kent or whoever running across that, Riley McDonald. There you go, mate. Have a kick. And, he's just, he's just brilliant.
And the best part about him, how damaging is he when he goes, I'm just going to go rest forward now.
Yeah. I think he rests on ball.
Yeah.
And when the team need 3 goals quickly, he plays forward because
not to compare him to like an AFL player, but that's, I think, the modern type of midfielder.
Yeah.
The one who can push forward.
Like a Bontempelli.
Yeah.
Yeah. Bontempelli will go win the footy, and then when he wants to try and get himself some Brownlow votes, he'll just go up forward, he'll kick 3 and then go back into the middle. No, he's a gun. And then when I found out the type of money he was being offered by Div 1 clubs, not saying that he's on poor money at Devon Meadows, but when he said he wanted to drag his club to Division 1 and not just go sign with the Division 1 club, had a lot more respect. Not that I have lost any respect for Joel.
Yep.
Just my footy crush grew even more when I found that out.
Yeah, and obviously they go up to Div 1 now. So you've called them. How do you think they go in Div 1?
I think they'll go all right. As long as they stay healthy. So like, they don't have depth. They have signed a few good players. They've even got a VFL listed player, so that'll be good when he plays.
Just a question of how much he plays, isn't it?
Yeah, but they've signed some good players, so they've done really well. You know, 3 of the players on the grand final day were 16 years old. You know, so you're trying to get stars from your 19s. You know, their reserves didn't do too well, so it's hard. You know, your seniors are killing it, winning a flag, and your 2s, I don't even think the 2s made finals, but everyone will correct me. So I think they've got all right. I think they've got the talent pool, so long as they stay healthy. But when one play, I mean, if you look at early in the year, Nick Battle gets married and goes off, and I like the way Nick Battle plays, but that's one of their main midfielders. That means 2 people can tag Joel Hillers. You know what I mean? It's like, well, then who? Okay, we might move a good player on ball, but then we might lose someone from our back 6, and their back 6 is pretty solid, but it's only a back 6. You know, people rotate it, but that's only from the team. So to get, you know, a 24th or 25th or 26th player to jump in, hopefully with these new signings, they've done that now. But if they stay healthy, they can stay in Division 1 for a while.
Mm-hmm. What's next for Jake Ward?
Wow. So I just had to knock back 2 trips. I don't work in December. So for me...
Family time, is it?
Absolutely. Yep. Daughter's birthday. We've got about 10 birthdays in December. We're mad Christmas people. But when we were heavily pregnant with our firstborn, and that's when my wife told me to quit my job and become a full-time commentator. Try this YouTube thing, try this arm wrestling thing, and now footy's caught on. So I've entered a Triple M competition, so fingers crossed I can win that. But it's just every waking moment, it's hundreds of emails a day, it's working out clips and everything to send to try and get in. Basically, I have a vision board at home that used to have all my goals on it. It only has 3 words on it now, and that's make the AFL. That's all it says on it. So that's all I do now. I've got trips. January, I'm off to Florida. February's Norway. That might be getting pushed back to April. Vegas in April. So booked up enough for next year. And I think I've got Adelaide in there a few times. And then all of a sudden, it'll be April and we'll be back doing the footy.
Well, best of luck to you there, Jake. Hopefully you do make to the AFL.
Oh, I will. I will. You've heard it here. I will.
I love the confidence. Where can people find you? We'll leave it in the show notes, but where can people find your stuff?
Oh, well, if you're a footy fan and things like that, head over to Local Footy Commentator. We're about to hit 15,000 on Facebook. If you want more in-depth analysis, fun stuff, that's on the Instagram. And then if you want to check out the arm wrestling stuff, Aussie Arm Wrestler, AUSSIE, Aussie Arm Wrestler. Go check that out. We just had the world number 3 on the show. He's from Italy. So we had a chat and we're just about to have the 115 kilo world champion from the United States. Jump on the show Tuesday morning our time.
Well, thank you for joining us, Jake, for a special 200, number 200. This is the 200th episode of the podcast.
Oh, I'm very honoured.
So I had to save it for someone special.
Oh, wow. I should have bought a present. I feel bad now.
Well, thank you for joining us and best of luck to everyone. And thank you guys for listening and watching along. If you're watching this on YouTube, make sure to leave a like and comment on this video. Hit that subscribe button and turn notification bell on if you listen to this via Spotify or Apple Podcasts. As also, leave a like, a comment, turn that notification bell on so you don't miss whenever we upload. Hit that follow button. Share this off to a mate who you think might enjoy this chat. And please, guys, remember, if you do enjoy this show, please leave a 5-star rating, as that does help push the show out there to newer listeners. Thank you, guys, for tuning in. Until next time, I'll see you guys then.